How do I know when it's time for long-term dementia care? You might catch yourself thinking sometimes, how long can I keep doing this safely? When memory fails more, falls happen more, or your own health suffers, the question creeps in, is it time for memory care? And it's a heart-wrenching question, and one that you shouldn't have to answer without clarity. In this video, we're going to talk about the signs, a decision framework, emotional preparation, and some practical steps to consider when you're transitioning to long-term care for dementia. You're going to walk away with guidance, not guilt, and a clearer path forward. I'm Dr. Anna Thomas. I'm a physician, TEDx speaker, and founder of Life Care Leadership. Here we explore some tough topics with compassion and clarity. I created this podcast, The Age of Caregiving, to give caregivers like you the tools, structure, and support to lead care with clarity. And whether you're navigating a new diagnosis or juggling care on top of everything else, you are not alone. Please remember that everything I share here is for educational purposes only. Always consult your healthcare provider for any personal medical advice. Dementia care. Now, dementia care is evolving, and staying current can make a huge difference. I ask that you watch my free training, Dementia Care Updates, to learn what is new in treatments, medications, and practical supports. This is a must-watch for every dementia caregiver, and you'll find the link below. Let's talk about why it's hard to know about dementia's progression and when to make the decision. See, dementia's progression is uneven. Some days are better, some days are worse. Some days are better, some worse. It's easy to hold on to hope, and it's easy to doubt. But sometimes delaying these type of decisions for too long can endanger safety. It can erode your health and sometimes can create crisis transitions to places that you didn't want to go to instead of thoughtful choices. Here are some key signs that it's time to evaluate for memory care. Look for clusters of these: frequent hospitalizations or infections, repeated dangerous falls or mobility decline, worsening aggression, wandering, nighttime confusion, more difficulty with basic self-care tasks, especially transferring, toileting, and bathing. If your loved one is having difficulty with maintaining their nutrition or hydration, or if you, the caregiver, are physically unable to keep up. If your loved one is having more and more care needs, they need 24/7 supervision, more than what you and your family can sustain, these are all reasons when it is time to start having these conversations. And when multiple of these are present, it's time to explore a safer, more supported environment. Here's a simple 3-step decision funnel. First, we have to identify needs. What are some of the tasks that no longer work at home? What do we need outside help for? Second, map resources. Are there supports that exist? Paid care, other family members that could help, community resources, before we think about memory care options. You also want to project risk and cost. Compare what is safe and sustainable versus the cost of delay. So not just the cost of hiring help or the cost of moving to a memory care facility, but the cost of delay. Let's talk about how do you approach the conversation. You want to start early. Do not wait for the catastrophe to happen. Use language that is open and inclusive. We need a safer plan versus I'm moving you out. Make sure you visit these facilities together. This will help better set the expectations. And explore trial stays, or if you ever needed to use respite care, see if you can do respite care in that same facility to test the waters. And while they're there for that respite stay, see what are the staff like? What is the food like? What is the safety like? How responsive are the facility members there? Make sure you always include your loved one in discussions as far as possible, even simple choices. This transition can be a form of loss. Loss of home, loss of autonomy, and sometimes even identity. You'll need to acknowledge that grief. Seek support, could be counseling, peer groups, but remind yourself that you're not abandoning, you're advocating for safety. So give yourself permission to feel all the emotions, relief, guilt, sadness, all of them. Here's some practical steps for when you decide to move forward. Create a timeline. Prepare for the move out. Gather all the legal documents, medical records, care binder. Coordinate with the facility. Sit down with them. Go over everything that they need to know, medications, personal items, what your loved one likes and dislikes, as well as what the plan is for move-in. As you are researching this, make sure you do visit multiple facilities and ask those key questions about things like routines and updates. Remember, this decision doesn't mean defeat. It's just a change in where your loved one is living to allow both you and for them to thrive in a safer environment. Dementia, as we know, is a very complicated illness. And for you as the caregiver to respond well to dementia behaviors, you need to understand all these changes that are happening in the brain. I recommend that you also check out my free Brain Behind Dementia Masterclass, where you're going to learn how dementia impacts thinking, emotions, and behavior. You'll find the link for that one below. I know that you've carried hope, resistance, care, and fear. Recognize that this transition doesn't make you unloving. It makes you the bravest steward of care. You're holding both love and responsibility. And in choosing safety, you honor them and yourself. The next video I recommend that you watch is what tools can make caregiving physically safer for both of us. Because as care intensifies, whether you use a facility or not, your tools and your environment become more vital than ever. Remember, you are more than just a giver of care. You are a leader of care. This is the age of caregiving, and together we can lead it with strength, courage, and compassion.